Hello and welcome to another episode of Learning to Play the Guitar. This is my fifth video, I believe, and today we're learning 1 minute changes from justinguitar.com again. Let's go right into it.
Hello, Justin here. Welcome now to your first 1 minute changes. Now, this is a little exercise I developed a long time ago when I was teaching in a primary school and I couldn't get the kids to practice guitar. So I made up a little exercise where it was kind of a competition to see who could make the most chord changes in 1 minute. And what was really weird is that they all practiced loads, really enjoyed it, got really good at doing their chord changes. So I kind of took the idea and applied it to some older people and found it worked for them as well. And then in fact, all of my beginner students over the last few years have used this technique to get their chord changes faster because it's kind of the hardest thing. If you thought maybe having a slight pain in your fingers playing these chords was a little bit of a hard uphill battle, now the changing between the chords is really going to cause you a bit of problems because that's actually probably the hardest step when you first start playing guitar is getting those chord changes. It's not that hard, it just takes practice, so you've got to stick with it. Now, what I'm going to show you is a really kind of tried and tested method for getting your chord changes faster. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a pair of chords. We might do first, say, D and A first as the first one. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, but let's say D and A chord. And we're going to try and make as many changes between D and A as we can in 1 minute.
D is
so you
here.
need some sort of timer device, right? I used a little countdown timer on my iPhone, but you could use an egg timer or anything else that's got a countdown timer. I'm sure there are countdown timers online. If you have a look around, if you did a Google search, I'm sure you'd find one. So maybe using something like that. And the idea would literally be that you have a look at your clock or your watch and you go, rightio, okay, it's starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Whoa.
9, 10, 11, 12, and you just keep going for a whole minute trying to make as many possible changes as you can in that time. And when you've arrived at the end of that minute and you know how many you've done, in your practice schedule you'll write the number of changes that you made in the little box. And this is really good now for your motivation because you get to watch yourself improve. Every time you're practicing you've got a target because you know last time you practiced, well, I got like 7 changes in a minute. Okay, I'm definitely going to beat that this time. Right, yeah, let's go for 8. You know, so it's a really good idea to write it down in your practice schedule and then compete with yourself. And a lot of it's kind of mental. You've got to be pushing yourself, really trying to make it faster, trying every time, have the mindset that you're going really as quick as possible. Now, you can't make the chords kind of rubbish, right? If the fingers are on the wrong strings and then it's kind of not right, or the wrong frets. But if the chord's not perfect, that's okay, because this exercise is about trying to get your fingers to move quickly. That's the point of it. So if that, it's not quite perfect, that's okay. You can still count it. Now, counting it, how to count it. There's been quite a lot of debate about this. I actually intended, when I wrote this exercise and the first time I taught it online, that one cycle would be counted as 1. So if you went D to A and then back to D, that would be 1. And every time you got back to D, you'd count. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now, a lot of people kind of misconstrued that a little bit and they thought it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, to tell the truth, it doesn't really matter which one you choose to use. If you want to do one whole cycle as counting 1, or if you want to do count it each time you change chords at all, then that's okay. It's up to you. As long as you keep using the same system, it's fine. Now, even though I originally said 1 complete cycle is 1, I think probably it's a bit easier just every time you change chords to make it count. So going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's probably not a bad way to do it. I reckon that might be slightly better, but it doesn't really matter. Now, what's your target? Well, when you first start trying to do these 1 minute changes, you'll probably find that you get between 6 and 8 or 9 would be pretty damn good, actually. 8 or 9 would be the high end of how many changes people get in their first 1 minute changes. So Have a little go at picking each one of the combinations now. So it'll be D and A, D and E, and A and E. And take each one for 1 minute, see how many you can get, write it in your practice routine. The target is 30 complete changes, or if you're counting every time you change chords, you're aiming for 60, which is 1 chord change a second. Now when you get to that sort of speed, you should be able to play your songs fairly comfortably. So that's the reason for that. It's really speed, trying to get those fingers moving faster. That's the whole picture, dudes. And so lots and lots of work on this, and it will lead to good things, I promise you. So get into that, practice hard, and I'll see you for another lesson very soon.
So, as you heard, the target is 60 per minute, and that's really the advanced level, I would say. So don't expect to be getting 60 per minute when you start out. I think the last log I made of this, because I did get up to this part, the last entry I made when I recorded was 11th of October 2016, and I managed to get 52 changes from A to D in a minute, and I managed 52 from E to D in a minute, and I managed 50 from A to D in a minute, and I managed 59 apparently from E to D in 60 seconds. And oh, I said A to D twice, so I must have practiced it twice that same day, as well as E to D. And down here it says the fourth time I tried it, I got 56 from E to D, and apparently I got 59 from A to D. As you can tell now, I'm not going to get that because I'm so out of practice. And even back then, I'm sure many of them weren't correctly strummed. I'm sure some of them, if not half of them, were cheats, if you will. But maybe not. Maybe I actually did legitimately that many in a minute. A liberal recording, shall we say. So let's just have a go at that now, shall we? Just quickly. A to D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, as you can tell, a lot of them, well, some of them aren't perfectly done, but I realized I forgot to start a timer, so I think I'll do that for my next video. Recording how many chord changes I can do each minute for A to D, E to D, and A to E. A to D, E to D, and A to E. So I'll see you then.